The number one reason you can't play Master of Puppets is you. You're making it harder than it needs to be. Come on, it's easy. All you need is the 4 P's. 1, posture. 2, placement. 3, picking. And 4, practice. Let's get going. Okay, so tip number 1, posture, otherwise known as you're holding the guitar badly. If you try to play the guitar as everyone does, seated like this, on a chair or on a couch or something like that, what is going to happen is you're going to try and play, for instance, the second riff of the song. You'll be able to do that for maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute, but you're going to start finding that your forearm is getting very, very sore. Because what you're doing is you're supinating, a fancy word for opening up your palm to the ceiling like this, asking for soup. Can I have some soup? What the soup here? No soup for you. Your arm is going to constantly be wanting to fight and go back to a more neutral and comfortable position. Now, what's going to happen is you'll play it for a bit. Eventually, your wrist is going to be twisting around, your thumb will hook over the top, and your index finger and middle fingers will still be fairly close to the strings, but your ring finger, and particularly your pinky finger, are going to be further and further away. Now, we got to be kind to them. Look at those fingers. Index finger, fairly big, middle finger, the largest, ring finger is okay, pinky finger is tiny. Why would you want to make it harder for them? Why? Why would you want to do that? Okay? Be kind to them. Try never to have your guitar horizontal like that. All right? Now, ways you can fix that: use your guitar strap, address the head of your guitar, or use a footstool if you're a classical guitar player. However you got to do it. Sitting, standing, whatever it is, you're going to find that it's much, much easier to play that way. No tension. Go. Tip number 2, finger placement. You want to make it as easy as possible to execute what you're doing by considering the placement of your fretting hand fingers on the fretboard. You want to try and make sure that each finger is of the same distance away from the string. If you have your guitar horizontal, like we said in the last section, and your thumb is hooked over the top, like blues rock style, which again, there's nothing wrong with it, it's great for that kind of thing. It's going to be very, very difficult to play, for instance, the second section of the song. Every time I use my ring finger, it has to travel a huge distance, particularly the pinky finger. It's just not usable at that point. It's not so much that it's weak, it just needs to be closer. So, align your thumb to the back of the guitar neck and make sure that your fingers are of equal distance from the string. It might mean that you need to angle your pinky finger a little bit closer to the string by default than your index finger. All right, if you think about the frets and think about the fingers, this is like a diagonal motion this way, which is the blues rock style. This is more aligned with the frets, and this is more with your pinky finger leading. All right, so try and make your pinky finger lead, thumb, back of the neck. Tip number 3, picking. How do we strike the strings? The movement can come from the fingers themselves with the flexion and extension of your index finger and thumb. From the wrist, using deviation, which is a fancy word for left and right. From the rotation of the 2 forearm muscles, using supination and pronation. And finally, from our elbow. Consciously try all of them. My suggestion is to primarily have the movement coming from the elbow with a slight rotation of the forearm. But you might find something else that works for you. Bottom line, however, is if it's not working for you, there is another way. Do not repeat the method that isn't working and hope that it'll get better. Try something else that feels easier and repeat that. Tip number 4, practice. Or, have you practiced enough? Have you? Consider how much you have practiced walking, for example. There was a time in your life when you weren't very good at it, but you kept doing it again and again until it wasn't a conscious activity anymore. It is now part of your long-term or your procedural memory, which is a fancy word, you should check it out now. And now you can walk while doing a bunch of other conscious activities, like using your phone, for example. You might be doing it right now. My point is, unless you have practiced something enough times correctly that you can execute it without focusing on the small details required, you will find it nearly impossible to play at speed. So, set the metronome to a slow tempo, set a stopwatch for 4 minutes, and get going right now. Once those 4 minutes are up, and be really strict about staying to the same tempo and doing the whole 4 minutes. Take a short little break. That's really, really important. And then do the whole thing again. Keep doing that again and again and again, gradually bringing the tempo up, and you'll get there. 100% guarantee it will get there. But you have to put the time in. There's no shortcuts. So make it easier for yourself, be kind to yourself, and just take the time to do the practice, and you can totally, totally get it. Okay? Yeah, it's a dog. Okay, click the link, click the link, click the link, click the link, click the link. Kira, click, click.